Hello and welcome back to our video series on the Web Traffic Blueprint. Now in video 7, we're going to show you the benefits of link exchanges and specific techniques to acquire them. Used properly, link exchanges can help enormously with your targeted traffic. Improperly, and it can be a colossal waste of time. For any marketer looking for targeted web traffic, especially the cost-conscious, budget-minded marketer like myself, finding related link exchange partners can be a great asset. Now, two items in the previous statement merit repeating. That is, can be a great asset and related link exchange partners. More on these in just a minute. Now, link exchanges have been kind of misunderstood lately. There are those who think that anything that sends traffic away from your website is just not a good idea. Yeah, and just how many AdSense ads do they have on their site? But I digress. It is true that link exchanges do create two-way traffic, but the idea here is to get more traffic coming in than going out. Or at least, in a balanced flow anyway. And to let more people know about you, your website, and your products or services. The basic idea of a link exchange is that two companies that are in a similar niche but who market complementary rather than competing products or services can help each other out by exchanging their links. The link exchange is free to both companies in this type of an agreement. For example, a company that sells greenhouses might exchange links with a company that sells greenhouse exhaust fans. Greenhouses, greenhouse exhaust fans. Now they're not competing with each other, but they are both targeting the same buying segment of the population, that is, gardeners or greenhouse owners. Now there are complementary but non-competing businesses in just about any niche market you can think of. And there are without a doubt companies that would make good link exchange partners for you and your website and your products or services as well. Let's say, for example, you have a site that, say, markets video tutorials. You might look into sites that market in any video-related niche, online video players, for example, desktop video software, video editing software sites, and I'm sure if you put on your imagination hat, you'll come up with several possibilities yourself. Now, that is what I was referring to earlier when I said related link exchange partners. Now, as far as the other important factor to keep in mind when exchanging links, be sure and do it the correct way. For example, now there's link exchange partner software out there that will automatically submit your link exchange proposals for you, without you lifting a finger. However, this software is mostly ineffective. Businesses receive an automated proposal for a link exchange usually take a dim view of such proposals. Well, heck, you may have even received to exchange links from a Forex trading site or a car selling site to your video selling site, chances are pretty good they were generated by an automated software, or worse, someone that didn't know what the heck they were doing. In either case, you are going to have to do this the right way because you cannot afford to do it the wrong way. You only get one chance at a first impression. Now, there are some very good services online that either for a fee or for free will provide you with listings of potential linking partners. For the sake of this video though, we're going to be doing things from scratch. This way you'll end up knowing more about the entire process and you can then use those services if you feel the need to, only now you'll be better informed of the whole process. Here's how to locate potential link exchange partners. First, go to your favorite search engine and type in the words that would be related to your product or service, kind of like keywords. For example, in staying with the greenhouse theme, if you were selling greenhouses, well, you might type in greenhouse accessories, or if you were selling video tutorials, you might type in something like online video players or video editors. You get the idea. You want to find businesses that are targeting the same buying segment of the population, but are selling products or services that are complementary to what you are selling, but not competing with what you are selling. You will need to take the time to visit each of these websites that you locate and consider, to be potential link exchange partners. Now, it would be great if you could find link exchange partners that have a page rank of 7 or better in the search engines. But those that have less desirable page ranks can still be useful. This is not costing you anything, remember? So when you visit each site, you can gather the information about who to contact. You can do that by looking under their contact or the About Us link. Most every site has those. In some cases, you will find a name and email address. For these, you will send a link exchange proposal, and we'll go over a template of that link exchange proposal in just a second. But first, I want to show you on this website here kind of what I was talking about. For example, let me back this up just a sec. I put in the search bar up here, our Google search engine search bar, greenhouse exhaust fans. And you do the same thing for greenhouse shelves, greenhouse watering systems. Again, if you're in the business of selling greenhouses, you probably have a better idea than I do, since I'm not in that business, of what accessories or what searches you might be putting in here. So again, with videos, you might put in, like I said, editing, players. Well, you get the idea. This is one that I chose because it's right at the top. And if we were to choose this one here, for example, we'll go ahead and click on that and see what comes up. Now, this one looks pretty intense. They got a lot of information here, good content. But what I wanted to point out, though, is right up here, the page rank. Now, if I hover my mouse over this, it'll pop up here. I don't know if you can see that in the video or not. 3 out of 10, which isn't bad. Now, let's go on back here. Check this one down here. Hobby greenhouse, how to select the correct size exhaust fan. Okay, this is how to select, not so much buying. So I don't know if these guys actually sell them or not. This one has no page rank at all. I'm sorry, it does. No, it doesn't. 0. Thought there was a little bit of green sticking out there. But let's go on back here. So that one has 0 page ranking. And this one had 3. And the one that we were originally on, this top one here, had 4, I believe. Let's head on back here and see. Hover over this. Looks like there's 4. Correct. So out of those, just going by the example I provided earlier, we would probably want to send off a proposal to these guys first. Now, one thing to keep in mind too, whenever you send out these proposals, you don't necessarily want to send them all out at the same time just to save time and effort, and speed and all that kind of stuff. Because the idea here is you do not want to have competing links on your page. In other words, if you send out 3 or 4 or 5 different proposals to various greenhouse exhaust fan websites, and let's say, for example, you strike it rich and all 5 of them send back an okay for those proposals, and they all 5 want to provide you with link exchanges, that's not such a good idea, because now then you have competing websites on your page. And if the tables were turned, you would not like the same thing on their website to have you and 4 of your competitors on their page. You want yourself on that page. So hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. So do it slow and you'll get the rewards in the long run. So send one off to the top guys first, using the page rank as an example. Now then, as far as the actual form itself, and here's an example, and that's merely it, an example. You can use this as a template if you'd like. You can just make your own if you don't already have one, but basically you want to keep it simple, to the point. Dear, put their name in here that you retrieve from their About Us or the contact information from their website. I have visited your website. It's very impressive, and a good idea to sell this point is that you might want to point out some specifics of their site that impressed you. This again kind of helps things, keeping it like it's not a canned request. My congratulations. We both are selling to the same group of people, and I feel that a link exchange could be mutually beneficial. Now, you might also briefly elaborate on how your products or services are complementary and not competitive. If nothing else, it gets them curious to see, what you got to offer. And then you go on to ask them, please visit my website and put your URL here, after you have reviewed my site, and if you are interested in a link exchange, please contact me at, and then leave your contact information. And if you've got a phone number, by all means use that. And that brings a good point up too, is that if you find in their contact information on their site a phone number, like for example, usually they're in the navigation bar at the top or along the side here, and if not, then you might find them down at the very bottom, like in the footer area. For example, here we have not only an address for you to mail one to, which is kind of snail mail, we've got an email address, but my point though is we've got a fax and a toll-free number. Cha-ding! So you pick up the phone, you call them. You can expedite matters a little bit more by calling them and asking them over the phone if you want to do a link exchange. There's no difference in the proposal. You can just do this over the phone and ask them. In this case, you've got a fax number here. If you can fax over the form, and again, it's nothing that big of a deal. Just talk to them. And Of course, if you're not used to doing this, and the first couple of them might be a little bit bumpy for you, but as with practice, you'll get better. I get back to the form here, and that's basically it. So you can either just copy this down or use this as a template and write your own, which is always a better idea. But by all means, take action on this. Now, just a quick review. It's a good idea to limit your link exchanges to one per product. That is, if you're selling greenhouses, you should only have one exchange with a company that sells greenhouse exhaust fans. But you could always have one that sells greenhouse accessories or greenhouse replacement panels. You don't really want advertisements for companies that compete with each other. You would not like it if they did it to you, so don't do it to your link partners. And when you choose link exchange partners, choose the ones, if possible, that have the highest PR or page rank for those keywords. These are the sites that will have the most traffic, and more people will see your advertisements and have the opportunity to click on your link, visit your website, and of course perhaps buy your product. That's the goal here. Now that you have your link partner, where on your site do you put their link? Take a look at their site and see where they place your link. And if possible, do the same on your site. You may even go ahead and ask them, where on your site will you be placing my link, especially if you get them on the phone. If possible, if your site structure allows it, then put their link in the same location. Of course, this has a lot to do with the structure of your site. Do you have multiple side panels, left and right? At the very least, you have the footer like the one we just seen. Now, this is not the most desirable area, but if all else fails, you do not want to have to redesign your entire site just for link exchanges. And let me show you what I'm talking about as far as those panels. We go over here to our demo site we'd used in a prior video. This is, for example, a left panel. This would be the center or right panel if there's only two. But let's say, for example, somewhere if we scroll down the page a little bit, you've got some articles over here. Well, maybe down at the lower left-hand side is where you're going to start your link exchanges or your advertisements for your link exchange partners. And if you have no panels, except for just the center, you've got just the one page straight across, then the footer area at the base. This would be a great place, like I had shown you here. Scroll down here. You can have link exchange partners here. And again, what you might want to also consider is having them, instead of just having the URL up here, like for example, this is a URL to the email address, instead of that, having it text just like this. For example, great greenhouse exhaust fans. Have that typed here and then have it hyperlinked to your link partner. It gets a little more Google juice, a little more marketing juice for those links. So that's pretty much it insofar as link exchanges are concerned. This is going to bring us to the end of this video on finding excellent link exchange partners. I hope you learned something. Thank you much for watching. Have a great day.